Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Harebrained Games. Today we're going to take a look at Arborea. This is a quirky little game in not area control. It's a worker placement kind of game dealing with the rejuvenation of the different biomes of the magical land of Arborea. You will deal with a lot of people, places, and things in a colorful fashion as you make your way across to get the restoration points needed to win this game. So let's just dive in. Okay, let's go over what comes in Arborea. You get a beautiful map. This map is filled with all kinds of colorful goodness, lots of tracks, lots of tracks, lots of various ways that you're going to be able to manipulate and use your pieces for glory, etc. You're going to get biome cards, and each of these cards are ones that you can obtain as you build and develop on the various tracks. For the biome trackers, you're going to be able to complete these cards. These cards are going to open up and become larger areas of your biome that you're going to grow, put creatures in, and ultimately win the game. There's a variety of creatures. Speaking of which, these are all very nicely linen etched creatures. Very cool. Everyone gets their own player board. You're going to see those, and you get workers. You get these elder workers, you get veteran workers, and you get your basic average worker. Lots of different colored pieces. You've got your biome track, you've got your season track, you've got your scoring track, lots and lots of tracks. So it'll be easy to keep track of, I hope. Anyway, you also get a map. Sorry, you get an actual manual. The manual is very colorful, very filled with a lot of details, describing each and every aspect of your turn, the actions you can take, of which they are legion, and additional rules for solo mode, or if you got some of the Kickstarter expansion in for deep pieces and components, there's rules for that too. Nice handy glossary and a reference sheet on what to do. And that's it. That's what comes in the box. Let's get into an example of how you play. Okay, the object of the game in Arborea, or Arborea, is to win, and you win by scoring the most points. What a surprise. These are called regeneration points. They're not called victory points. Surprise! Brand new. You're going to do this by regenerating biomes, which is here. You're going to have a biome track, which you're going to start regenerating with. You're going to share these tracks with other players at times. You're also going to complete ecosystem cards tasks here. You're going to finish, you start with a basic one that everyone gets, and then you're going to build these cards here. These cards, once completed, once you do the things on the bottom, you get the rewards on the top, and then you flip it over, and look, you've got another biome. All right, biometric goodness. And then you're going to add creatures. You're going to build creatures. You're going to have them come in here. They're going to start slowly, timidly coming into all of these areas here until you can invite them onto your card based on what they like. You're going to earn points at the end. And finally, you're going to have season goals. So you're going to be going up the track for season things. Lots and lots of different tiny ways for lots and lots of scoring opportunities to manifest themselves. On an average turn, it's pretty simple. You've got your workers. Everyone has a worker. Now this is it. You start off with 2 basic workers, and in the 2-player game, you get an advanced worker. These move tracks farther than your average worker, than these here. So, and you have these placeholder units. Those become useful for different aspects of play. So let's go over a turn. What do? On your turn, and technically everyone's going to start somewhere already. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that as a symbolic manifestation of, you go back there. You go back where you belong. All right. So on your turn, the first thing you're going to do is either place a villager on a pilgrimage track, and these are the tracks here, or you're going to advance one of your pilgrimage tracks. So why would you do that? Well, you place workers because if you look here, all of these tracks are like a little train, a little fungal train that's going to be going forward. When you jump off this track, boom, you get to pick which side, you're going to be able to, later on in your turn, activate that villager. That means you can go down all of the ways, you slide, this is like Chutes and Ladders, Adult Edition. You slide down, you go here, you get this bonus, and you get a bonus, and you get a bonus, and then boom, back you go to the track. And that's effectively what activating an owner is, or activating a villager is. In the meantime, why would you go forward? Well, if you look carefully at these tracks, and some of these will, like this track here, is going to generate resources. That's pretty cool because resources are what you want to consume in order to complete these cards. Completing these cards is what you're going to want to do to be able to invite creatures. Creatures are what you're going to have on the board so that you can line them up and put them in intersections and have them score points based on the stuff around them. It all feeds into this nice flowing system. But that's a review topic. Anyway, so we start here, and you place, when it's time to place a villager, if we were going to place it, we couldn't place it where one already exists, but we can place it anywhere else. They start here, and you plop them down. If you plop them down where there's one of these season tokens, well, you bump up your season track here, and that gives you a multiplier that says when you resolve this season, whoever has the most gifts that they've given the biometric people here on all these different places, you're going to get a multiplier, 2x, 3x. So if you scored 3 of those, 3 times 3 is 9, etc. You get the point. Lots of little ways for stuff to score. The farther you go down the track, you'll notice the more you're going to see really cool stuff. For example, here, if I get off the track right away, well, I can bring a creature in and have them start being available to me. Well, what does that mean? Well, let's just show you. Say I jumped off here. I would take my little pink froggy, and I would pop it over here. And if I was the first one here, well, I get this special one-off token. Yay, look, I got a token. And then you beef up that means beef up this track 1. Look at that. That's as simple as it gets. Then I go to the next thing. Ooh, look at that coral. So I get to bump that up, and I bump it all the way up. These work in a very strange situation. They're kind of a lockstep unit. They're kind of like mouths. Rah, rah, rah. Tasty. When you're improving or increasing, you're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until they got a big mouth. Yeah. But say we update that. Then we go here and we say, well, if we have any of our special cubes on this deity-like creature that's going to be on guard of all of that that particular area. You'll see these areas are broken up in sections. And so when you see those, you can give to sage. They're called sages, actually. And then if I had a marker here, I could take gifts from the sage. Well, what are these? Well, I can take a card. I can take one of these cards, and I can put it here so that I can complete that, and I can reserve that. I can, I can bump up, I can update a biome. I can get power or spirit. Now, what? Yeah, we got spirit. Yes, we do. Now we don't, so bombs to be you. Anyway, the spirit track is interesting because it lets you beef up some of your choices. Matter of fact, once we pop this back here, and then I'll show you what that means. On your turn, not only can you place a villager or such, but then you can exhaust some of your spirit and move it down the track to be able to do that again. You get an opportunity to do it twice. And in 2 places in your turn, you could do that. So you could say, you know what, I really want to add a unit here, and I want to add a unit here. It's very important to me. Sorry, there. So we're going to do that. Yay, but that's going to cost you 2 more. Now, that's not good right now. You've got negative spirit, and if you run out of spirit, well, you're spiritless. And at the end of the game, if you don't have that bumped back up, you're going to lose some RP points, and that's really what matters. So anyway, and then so you do that, you advance it, and then you activate your villagers. Again, you can use spirit again to activate more than 2 villagers. If you had all 3 of these and they happen to be off, then you could basically go, yay, I'm done, I'm out of here. So but yeah, so that's it. That's the turn. You're going to do these actions. You're going to go down these tracks, etc. But at the end of your turn, you can do 1 of 3 things. If you can complete an ecosystem, you would be wise to do so. How does that work? Well, right now, I don't have enough to cover the cost of this. There's only 1 ecosystem there, or one of these biomes, sorry, one of these biomes there. So I need 2 of these, so 2, and I need 1 of these there. I don't have that. So what does that mean to me? Well, that's sadness. You don't get to complete it. That's sad. But wait, it doesn't go too awfully sad, because on the very last turn, you're going to update the biomes. If you didn't manage to do anything with these biomes and you didn't make whatever you updated, you can go 1, 2, close the mouth, and you get all the points that this biome matching pair of mouth eats. So you get 6 points. 3 plus 3 is 6. So then I go, well, yay, I got 6 points. So you get points out of it anyway. If you put in some work, you at least get some sort of reward, and that's kind of, that is nice. But say you did have enough. Say you did have 2 here and you had 2 here, and you wanted to finish this ecosystem card. Well, no problem. This one goes up 1. This one goes up 2. Oh, wait, no, do it the other way. Ha ha, I'm a liar. So this one goes down 1, and this one goes down 2, and you pay that cost, and you get this card. And then, yay, I get to take a worker and put it down here and use it. That's kind of a free one-off worker I can use. It goes back up here and has to be retrained again, but it's an extra boost in my ability to go do something. And then, ooh, I get Spirit back. Spirit's cool, so then I bump up Spirit here, and then I can place this card anywhere. I can place it on, around, I can orient it. I can't put it under, and I can't just have it out in nowhere, but I could put it there. Look at that. Maybe I like that. And that's what I can do to complete an ecosystem card. Then I'm going to update, like we already showed you where you update. Even if I did that, I'd be like, yep, 3. I get 3 points. And so that's what you can do on your turn, and then your turn is over, and then it goes to yellow, and yellow's going to do the same thing. They're going to add to their tracks, and but wait, we missed an important step at the end of your turn. At the end of your turn, you advance the pilgrimage tracks. On these elders, you advance them 1. On these elders, you advance. Let's say we were here, and we advanced 1, and say we advance all of the tracks that we're on. Well, what if we had other people on? Then you have a choice to make. As they advance, this is your opportunity to get off the train. The hype train is there. Do you want off of it? Yes. In this case, you might want to wait because you're not that far yet. For example, what if I had a card that wanted all 3 of these? I would need to, I would really want to get my unit all the way up at least to here. And notice that once you get to the end, this signals that you just flip it around and keep going. Perpetual train motion. And then maybe I want to jump off. And you have to jump off so that you can be activated on the next turn. That's important. So you're going to be looking ahead in timing. And then, of course, you're going to go through. You're going to add a creature there. And as you add creatures, you're going to do something called update the track here, which is going to start. That's the end-game tracker. So you're going to go all the way through, and that's the end of the game. It's once you get to here, everybody gets 2 more turns once the sun gets to this happy spot here. So lots of little things going on. The other thing is, again, gift to sage. So some of these are not just grabbing resources. Some of them are grabbing resources, putting creatures out. Some of them cost you points because you get water. Water's a wild card, which is pretty nice. And some of them let you take, beyond get creatures. You can go here and say, I want a creature here, and you put them there. At the end of your turn, you get to place them somewhere. So each of these animals has a different thing that it likes. This would be a bad idea. What I'd really want is that red creature, because that's going to give me 3 points for being around red. In this case, we just set it here. I mean, with all these rocks around, that wouldn't be a very advantageous spot. But anyway, there's ways to move your creatures. You can't have them next to each other. They have to be off a bit. But that's what you can do. All of these little actions here lead to something, including one that says, go do something sage-like. You can take a card. Again, these refresh the deck, take a card, and then when you have an opportunity, and I'm trying to find just the right spot that tells you where you can do that. There we go, gift, right there. This one's a little tricky. Notice it costs 6 spirit, but you get to place a gift on one of the sages. And this one, any of them, some of the cards, and you can get, for example, cards here that if you complete, then you're going to get to put a sage on the green, or on the green sage, whatever, and then you just place them there. And okay, you've given a gift to the sage. Well, what does it mean? Well, whenever you find an activation of say this one where you can activate it, again, you get one of these. I get a free water. I get to place a creature. I get to gift to another sage and all that stuff. And again, all of these interwinings and interweavings from the different aspects of how you earn points and earn abilities and stuff are all going to feed together so that you're going to try and score and maximize the most points. At the end of the game, when this is already over here and everyone's taken their last 2 turns, and all the creatures are placed, and whatever, you're going to go through a scoring phase that's pretty long. You're going to want to take some time and think about it. You're going to get spirit loss if you had your creature over here. You're going to get spirit points if you have it over and not less than that. You're going to get season points. Again, you're going to have the multiplier here for getting points there. You're going to score creatures. Again, looking at how they do it. Some of these creatures have pretty easy ones. Like, look at that. Around a pink, well, you get 3. Yay! And there's a maximum that you're going to get for a lot of these. But yeah, you're going to get to score creatures. And that's that. That's basically the essence of the game. Lots and lots going on. Lots of little fun mini challenges to do in this game. But that's it. That's a run through of Arborea. So let's take a gander at my final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts on Arborea, or Arborea, or I will let someone else tell me what to do. As always, we do the cons and caveats first, then we do the pros, then we do my final thoughts. As far as the cons, I will not lie to you, there is a bounty on colors here. It's bountiful, it's rapid eye overkill if you're not used to that. There's a lot of little tiny nuances here, and it explodes, and so while it doesn't necessarily bother me, it's something to keep in mind. There's a lot of little details to track, and even a map, even with the larger board, little icons, a little tricky for older eyes. Also keep in mind that as a worker placement game, people who are used to saying, I place my worker here, I get this good. I place my worker here, I get this action, this bonus, whatever. There's some delayed gratification here that is both a pro for me, but a con for others, in thinking that you have to think ahead more so than you would maybe another more simple fare when it comes to games where you place workers of your kind on a board and get special actions. You have this conveyor belt that moves along, and it's sort of, we'll get into that later, but something to keep in mind is that initially you might be like, well, it's the slow grind begins. There's many choices here of what to do, and none of them will help you carve a clear path to understanding, at least in the first couple games, what you're doing, why you're doing, how it helps, how it doesn't, does it help more than something else, whatever. There's a lot of disparate pockets of detailed play that initially will overwhelm someone who's not used to having that many diffused choices all in a row. You could play it, and I would suggest for game one, with caution to the wind and just try stuff, see what happens. But not everyone is as free form for learning as I am. Also, it's interesting that the one physical issue was that you have these elders, and then you have these youngins, and then you have these veterans, and it was just weird to have, the elders are the largest pieces, and generally speaking, worker placement, if you have a larger piece, there's usually a big old, a big old special thing, like you get double, or you get to take this on and you own this, and then the little guys are all the lesser people. Here, the big and the little ones are the same. The big ones are they're there for you permanently, and then the other colored ones are the ones that give you the double boost, which is a little bit odd to kind of convince people that they do that. You'll get it real quick, but just an odd choice among very few odd choices with this game. Let's get into the pros. I mentioned that you had delayed gratification, but I also didn't mention how cool it was and what kind of cool decisions that you have to make with that. It's not really push your luck, but it's push your fortune. It's not just place a worker. You place something, you're sort of, it's almost like place your bets, and then the farther along you go, the better the payoff is. And that's a really cool conveyor belt-like approach, where you might need something now, I really need to jump off this train now, because I at least get this bonus, and this bonus to help fuel enough biomes that I can pay this card with those biome points, and then move over to put that in my tableau of creatures so that I can get this creature and put it on there, because I know I'm going to get super points for it later. Once you start piecing together the many ways that it flows, you're going to find yourself really enjoying it. I love the gaping mouth of the biomes, where you're it goes up, jump, 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 chomp, 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 chomp. That's just hilarious. I had fun with that. How big can I make the mouth by buying biome thing, right? And I do like it because, it says semi-co-op-ish, kind of. They mention that in a couple places, and it kind of is, but it's mostly what can I do, and if I leave stuff on the table that might benefit other people. I don't know if that's semi-co-op more than it's like I've had enough donuts, I'm going to leave the rest in the break room, and if other people get to them, great. If they don't get to them by dinner, I'll just have donuts for dinner. That's about as semi-co-op as it feels to me. And so, it's even if you contribute, there's a little bit of selfish gain in you, because again, like the biomes go up the tracks. If you don't use it and expend it, then you still get points. You still get points as you close the gaping mouth of the biome, and so you still get something out of it. It's not like I'm doing this cooperative thing. Another game, like there was one called Archipelago, where at a certain point, or other games like even like Game of Thrones or whatever, where at a certain point, if you all aren't contributing, something bad happens to everybody, and that's more like trying to stick it to whoever like, I don't really want to help. Why doesn't someone else take this on? This one's more like, you know, either I help you out, great, but at least I got something out of it. Like win-win for everybody. The colorful world here is really inviting, and it's really kind of invigorating. The board is beautiful with the colors, and the pieces are all cute and clever. The rule book is very much in line with the game board, in that it has lots and lots of nice ornate stuff. It doesn't get in the middle, in the way of learning the rule book, but it's like this nice whimsical color vibe of a game, and but of a serious game. And that's different. I loved Flamecraft's art, but the game was dull after a while. Dull and overwhelming in all the most boring ways, and so I never really liked Flamecraft. This, can't not say that. Can't say that it's boring or drab or droll in any way. I can only say that it can be overwhelming, but you get some really cool choices and some really cool connection points between those choices. So, there's so many ways to imbue your impact in the world, in little touches that all speak a positive measure of joy into your actions and the world's regrowth. You do feel like you're doing something to contribute to recreating biomes, to having little extra touches of rain, fall, summer, winter, whatever. Ooh, I go down this thing. There's very little negative. You do lose your spirit. We got spirit. Yes, we do. Now this turn, we don't. Where you have these little, the nitro of spirit points to help fuel additional actions in one turn is an up or down or whatever. But for the most part, you're a whimsical, happy-go-lucky, let's make the world a better place, like buy the world a Coke kind of game. And honestly, there is a value to being able to say there's hard to track all the ways that things go. After the first couple of games even, you will see how things feel together in the moment, but you won't necessarily know, I'm winning by 13.5 points. Ha ha ha. No, you don't have that. It's sort of like, it's just, you're just traveling along, making the best of what you have. Someone really brilliant, yes, they're going to know they're ahead by 13.5 points or whatever. They're going to get that. I don't. I think that it's better to think of this like traveling through Europe if Wonka owned Europe and stuff. So there was a book I read about grief called Surprised by Joy, which is an interesting thing, because I would honestly say that I was surprised by joy in this game. It was something that was given decent praise and seals of excellence or whatever, but I didn't really understand why until I dove in and played it, and then saw that the colors and the brightness. This is what I envision a box of Crayola crayons would be if it ever became sentient. It's a spinning color wheel of delightful, thoughtful, thinky, solid, interesting, delightful, like board game. I think the last time I had a delightful, colorful experience that surprised me with how good it was under the surface of all that joy was Coimbra, a game from a few years ago. So I do recommend Arborea. I recommend it highly. I think if you can take some time, learn the first game or two, you're gonna have a lot of joy playing this game. So anyway, that's all we have. Take care, and we'll see you next time on Harebrained Games.